how to deal with a difficult team member as a delivery manager. Navigating these situations with care is crucial for maintaining a productive and positive team environment. So let's explore some effective strategies for dealing with a difficult team member. The first step would be to identify what is the core issue causing difficulty. Is the team member struggling with workload, communication, or personal issues? Observe the behavior and try to understand the root of the problem. Arrange a private conversation with this team member. Approach the discussion with empathy and an open mind. Use this time to listen to their concerns and perspectives. Really listen to what they're saying. Express your observations and concerns, but do this without being confrontational. This conversation should focus on understanding their viewpoints and then finding a common ground. Once common ground has been understood, as in they understand where you're coming from, you understand what their situation is, it's important to then set clear expectations. Expectations for behavior and for performance. Discuss specific areas where improvement is needed and outline the expected standards. Ensure that the expectations are realistic and achievable, and provide any necessary resources or support to help them meet these standards. Now monitor their progress and provide regular constructive feedback. Schedule follow-up meetings to review their performance and address any ongoing issues. Positive reinforcement for improvement and guidance on areas that need further improvement to help them develop and motivate and stay on track. If the problem behavior continues, address it promptly. Provide specific examples of the behavior that's problematic and explain how it affects the team. And providing specific examples of behavior is key. What you can't do is just go in and say you're behaving poorly, because the person clearly is going to turn around and say in what way, or just feel like, okay, I can never improve. And I've seen this happen. I've been called into a situation where a line manager has told a person whose performance has been questioned in the past, they've just said to this person, I've been told that you're not performing well. And that person has responded quite reasonably. In what way? Give me an example. And the line manager hasn't been able to give an example because they've just taken something that someone said and relayed it in a very generic way. They're not involved in the process, they're not interested. They just want to relay that, okay, you're not performing well. There's no thought gone into that, and that causes problems because now this person is now asking for feedback, specific feedback, because it's quite reasonable to want to know exactly where they're performing badly. So the line manager has then gone to the team and said, all right, give me some examples of poor behavior by this team member. And that's clearly a horrible thing to put forward, because now what you've got is a situation where you're now asking the team members to turn around and find all the negative things they can think about. And why is it horrible? Because you're focusing on the negative only. You've not asked for 360 feedback. It's quite regularly in my organisation, 360 feedback. Let's just get an example of all the things that the person is doing well, things they could improve on. That's perfectly reasonable. What you've done is you've asked for specific things because you've been told in some way, you've got this information in some way that this person is not performing well, and then you're looking now for evidence for that. Similar to how when you buy a Honda, and next thing you know, when you're driving around, all you see is Hondas. Your mind will then focus on that, and so then this person did relay this sort of information back to the person, and obviously this causes a downward spiral, because then they're like, okay, now we've got all these negative things, have I not done anything that's positive? And so it's a very negative thing for the team member. So it's important to provide specific examples of the behavior, but it's also important to be mindful of discouragement and how this kind of feedback can affect the person, because what you're trying to do is you're not trying to break them down, you're trying to build them up, and so that involves explaining why their behavior is not working and not going well, but also explaining why certain bits that they've been working on have worked out well. So, last time we addressed X, Y, and Z. You've done fantastically well in X. Just need a bit more focus on Z and Y, because this example here. So be firm and respectful, but make sure that this person, ultimately you want to reintegrate into the team. Okay. So you just reinforce the impact of their behavior on the team dynamics and overall productivity. Now, if the situation doesn't improve despite your efforts, you need to escalate to senior leadership or whatever the process is in your organization. And the organization can provide additional support, mediate discussions, and offer any kind of intervention if necessary. It's important to follow organization protocols in this, okay? So just follow step by step. Nobody gets special treatment. There's no subconscious bias being applied because you are following the organizational protocols. And that's really important because you want to, protect yourself from any subconscious biases that you have. You want to make sure that you give this person the fairest chance of reintegrating to the team, and the best way to do that is follow step by step the organizational protocol so it's consistent for every member. Throughout the process, maintain professionalism, keep the discussion focused on work-related issues, and avoid any personal judgments. Your approach should always be aimed at finding solutions and improving team dynamics. You're not looking to assign blame. And at the end of this, you'll either have this team member integrated back into the organization, or you'll have escalated it and you'll be following a series of steps. Either way, you want to reflect on that situation, and you want to reflect on the experience and learn from it. You want to see what strategies work, what didn't work, and then you can understand how to handle similar situations better in the future. Doesn't mean you handled it badly now, obviously, but you can always improve. So it's all about continuous learning and continuous improvement, so making your management skills better, and meaning that you can handle more challenging situations. And that's the key thing, is iterative improvements in your management to make sure you can handle these situations better. You want to make sure that if the same thing happens next year, or the year after, or in 5 years' time, you can handle it so much better. And it could be, as you go forward, as you get better at this sort of stuff, there'll be less and less things you need to change, more tweaks here and there, which will mean actually, ultimately, you'll get more people back and integrated in the team, and you'll be more successful, and ultimately your team will make more progress, which is what it's all about.